Little House on the Prairie is a beloved classic that captures a simpler, idyllic past. But behind the charming facade, the show was rife with off-screen drama, from cast rivalries to personal struggles. And amidst all this chaos, one unedited blooper stands out in a surprising way. Behind the camera, Laura Ingalls and Nellie Oleson may have appeared as bitter foes on Little House on the Prairie, but the truth behind the scenes tells a different story. While their on-screen animosity was undeniable, Melissa Gilbert and Allison Arngrim, the actresses who portrayed these characters, were actually the best of friends in real life. As the series unfolded, Nellie Oleson's character married Percival, played by Steve Tracy. Though their relationship didn't make much of a splash on-screen, the real-life interactions between Arngrim and Tracy were far more intense. They would often engage in passionate displays of affection right in front of Gilbert, seemingly as a way to unsettle her. Laura Ingalls' own romantic subplot with Al Manzo seemed almost mundane by comparison. The situation grew more uncomfortable as Nellie and Percival's on-screen kisses became increasingly overt, causing significant distress for Gilbert. Despite their on-screen rivalry, Gilbert and Arngrim maintained a close friendship, yet the set was also a stage for more complex personal dynamics and hidden romances. It's startling to realize that beyond these personal entanglements, many cast and crew members grappled with serious addictions. Gilbert's memoir reveals that the set was frequently awash with alcohol, with the crew consuming 230 packs of Coors beer daily. On particularly intense days, 3 cases of beer would be consumed. Michael Landon, who played Charles Ingalls, was among the heaviest drinkers, starting his day with coffee spiked with liquor and continuing throughout. The extent of his alcoholism wasn't apparent at first, but eventually became a well-known issue. The revelations extend beyond these troubling details. Before we delve deeper into the more surprising aspects of the show's history, let's take a closer look at what made the series so memorable. The Little House on the Prairie show Little House on the Prairie is a beloved classic that holds a special place in many hearts. It's one of those rare TV shows that resonates deeply, its on-screen warmth and charm reflecting a simpler, more nostalgic time. Set in the American countryside, the show captured a longing for a bygone era. Though there have been talks of a remake, recent setbacks suggest it might be best to leave the series as it is. The show was inspired by the books of Laura Ingalls Wilder, who sought to share the essence of her childhood in the Midwest. Wilder's life from 1870 to 1894 was marked by challenges as her family settled in the largely unexplored Midwest, following the Louisiana Purchase of 1803. This period of homesteading involved building a life from scratch, creating homes, growing food, and crafting clothing. Despite the government's romanticized portrayal of this frontier lifestyle, it was a grueling and demanding existence. Laura Ingalls. Wilder's early years in Kansas were fraught with difficulties, shaping her future literary works. The series became a hit largely due to the compelling performances of its cast. Melissa Gilbert, who portrayed Laura Ingalls, and Michael Landon, who played her father Charles, shared a complex and emotionally charged relationship. Gilbert, who had lost her own father at a young age, saw Landon as a father figure. Their bond was profound, with Landon expressing a deep paternal affection for Gilbert. However, their relationship became strained when Landon's personal life took a turn. His divorce and subsequent marriage to Cindy Clerico, a makeup artist from the show, created a rift between them. Despite this turmoil, Gilbert and Landon eventually reconciled before his passing from cancer, with Gilbert honoring him by naming one of her children after him. While Little House on the Prairie portrayed the Ingalls family's life in Walnut Grove, Minnesota, with a comforting air, it also addressed serious issues such as poverty, divorce, addiction, and abuse. The show's ending continues to spark discussion, surprising many who followed its journey. Michael Landon, a seasoned TV veteran from his role on Bonanza, played a crucial role in the series as an actor, director, writer, and producer. His extensive experience was key when NBC producer Ed Friendly asked him to direct the pilot episode of Little House on the Prairie in 1974, shaping the series into a memorable part of television history. Cast in their background, Michael Landon, the beloved star of Little House on the Prairie, appeared to embody family values and Christian virtue on screen, but his real life told a different story. Behind the charismatic portrayal of devout Christian Charles Ingalls lay a complex reality. Born Eugene Maurice Orowitz, Landon's background was rooted in a Jewish family. His father, Eli Orowitz, and his mother, Peggy O'Neill. Though he portrayed Christian values on screen, Landon's identity was deeply influenced by his father's Jewish heritage. Despite his spiritual beliefs, he did not follow traditional religious practices, viewing his connection to Judaism more as cultural. Landon's early years were challenging and shaped his character significantly. Born on October 31, 1936 in Queens, New York, his childhood was marked by distressing incidents, including a traumatic moment when he saved his mother from drowning during a beach vacation. This turmoil contributed to his struggle with bedwetting, a detail publicly noted in Michael Landon. His triumph and tragedy. Landon's trademark curly hair was not entirely natural. Originally a dull brown, he dyed it to achieve the rich brunette look. As he aged, the hair dye sometimes appeared purplish under certain lighting, leading to frequent touch-ups by professional colorists. While Little House on the Prairie was celebrated for its heartwarming portrayal of rural life, it also courageously tackled serious issues often avoided by other shows, such as sexual assault, addiction, racism, and disabilities. It was a series that explored the complex and sometimes uncomfortable realities of life. Off-screen, tensions among the cast mirrored some of the show's conflicts. Jonathan Gilbert, who played Willie Olson, was Melissa Gilbert's adopted brother. Their relationship deteriorated after the show ended, with Jonathan pursuing a career in finance, while Melissa continued acting, took on leadership roles, and even ran for Congress, though she had to withdraw due to a 2012 accident. The rivalry between Melissa Gilbert and Melissa Sue Anderson, who played Mary Ingalls, extended beyond their on-screen characters. Their real-life animosity was so pronounced that it created significant tension on set, a conflict that persisted throughout the series' run. The setting of Walnut Grove, the backdrop for the Ingalls family's adventures, was inspired by the real town where Laura Ingalls Wilder spent her childhood. Despite its depiction as a bustling community, the actual Walnut Grove, founded in 1874 and incorporated in 1879, remains a small rural area with a modest population of about 806 people as of 2019. Real-life difficulty with some actors' roles. Some cast members of Little House on the Prairie faced challenges with their roles, finding their characters particularly difficult to portray. Melissa Gilbert, for instance, struggled with the romantic scenes, especially given her young age at the time. While it's not uncommon for young actresses to act opposite much older men today, the situation was even more challenging during the show's original run. At just 15, Gilbert had to perform her first stage kiss, which was also her first real-life kiss. On the show, her character Laura marries Almanzo Wilder, played by Dean Butler, who was 23 at the time. The age difference made the scenes uncomfortable for Gilbert, who was understandably apprehensive about kissing someone much older. She confided her concerns to Michael Landon, her close friend and father figure, who also directed many episodes. Landon took her concerns seriously and spoke to the show's producers. Fortunately, they agreed to modify the scene, opting for a light kiss on the cheek instead. Despite the supportive environment from most of the cast, Gilbert experienced some teasing from a few colleagues. Allison Arngrim, who played Nellie Olson, and Steve Tracy, who portrayed Percival, were close friends both on and off set. They decided to playfully exaggerate their on-screen romance to tease Gilbert, pretending to have exaggerated kisses and affectionate behavior. While their on-screen chemistry was convincing, in real life, the situation was quite different. Steve Tracy, despite his on-screen romance with Allison, was openly gay, and there was no real romantic involvement between them off-screen. On set, Melissa Gilbert and Allison Arngrim, despite their on-screen rivalry, were actually very close friends. They spent considerable time together outside of work, enjoying activities and sleepovers. Their genuine friendship contrasted sharply with their on-screen animosity. However, not all relationships were as harmonious. Melissa Sue Anderson, who played Laura's older sister Mary Ingalls, had a strained relationship with Gilbert off-camera. The exact reasons for their discord remain unclear, but their tensions persisted long after the show concluded. Gilbert voiced her displeasure with Anderson in her book Prairie, describing her as cold and difficult. Anderson's perspective on their feud has not been publicly shared, leaving their conflict shrouded in mystery. Despite the apparent tension between Gilbert and Anderson, it's clear that the cast dynamics extended beyond the screen, revealing a complex web of relationships and personal challenges. Melissa Sue Anderson's reputation on the Little House on the Prairie set was one of quiet distance, a trait that many attributed to her sheltered upbringing and her mother's overprotectiveness. While some speculated that these factors shaped her interactions with others, they didn't overshadow the genuine camaraderie that existed among most of the cast. Melissa Gilbert, in particular, found herself at odds with Anderson, a sentiment that was shared by others who felt Anderson's aloofness. It was suggested that Anderson's isolated childhood might have contributed to her demeanor. Nevertheless, the set was a place of laughter and shared experiences for many, even amidst these subtle tensions. Michael Landon, who was as famous for his on-screen role as Charles Ingalls as he was for his behind-the-scenes pranks, brought a unique energy to the show. His playful spirit was evident in his frequent practical jokes, one of which involved a harmless prank with sarin wrap on a toilet, much to the cast's amusement. Jonathan Gilbert, who played Willie Olson, was more than just a co-star. He was Melissa Gilbert's adopted brother. Their relationship, though strained over time, was once a close and meaningful bond forged during their years on the show. As Little House on the Prairie approached its final season, Landon transitioned from his role in front of the camera to focus on production. The show evolved, introducing a new family and renaming itself Little House, a new beginning. Landon's influence was undeniable, having directed 90 episodes and played a crucial role in both the pilot and the final episode. Allison Arngrim, who portrayed the mischievous Nellie Olson, fondly remembered Landon's distinctive approach to directing and his endearing sense of humor. His battle with pancreatic cancer, which claimed his life at 54, was a profound loss. Yet, his legacy of warmth and playful spirit continued to shine through the stories shared by those who worked with him, including Arngrim's anecdotes about his memorable interactions with guest stars. Fans' favorite, funniest bloopers on the show. One of the quirkiest blunders in Little House on the Prairie centers on Laura's seemingly endless pregnancy. Melissa Gilbert and Lenny Parker, who manages a fan site, both noticed that Laura's pregnancy seemed to stretch far beyond a typical time frame. Initially announced during the warm season, Laura was still expecting by the following summer. This running joke highlights the show's amusing historical errors. In another episode from season 8 titled Wave of the Future, the show takes a comedic misstep. Nellie's restaurant, which becomes a franchise named Mrs. Sullivan, faces trouble. In a surprising twist, Colonel Sanders offers Harriet a chance to start her own chicken franchise. The humor here is rooted in historical inaccuracies. Colonel Sanders, the iconic founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, was born in 1890, and his chicken empire didn't launch until 1952. Given the show's setting in the 1870s and 1880s, this anachronism stands out as a clear historical oversight. Season 5 brings a mix of tension and comedy in the episode The Odyssey, where a dramatic scene involves someone trying to throw Albert off a moving train. But if you look closely, the scene takes a humorous turn. Instead of a real person, a dummy is thrown from the train and lands gently in the grass, while a stuntman rolls down the hill with surprising smoothness. Even amidst the intense moments on set, there were always opportunities for lighthearted fun. Michael Landon, known for his roles as both actor and director, had a playful side that often delighted the cast. Rachel Greenbush, who played the youngest Ingalls sibling Carrie, recounted in a recent interview how Landon loved practical jokes. Greenbush and her on-screen sister, Melissa Gilbert, would catch frogs during breaks and then surprise Landon by placing the slimy creatures in his mouth. His reactions, with the frogs leaping out and startling those around him, were a testament to his mischievous sense of humor. In episodes like The Monster of Walnut Grove and The Music Box, sharp-eyed viewers have spotted a small but intriguing mistake. Outside the girl's bedroom window, tree branches rustle as if caught in a strong wind. Yet, in other scenes, there are no trees visible. This discrepancy could be attributed to the use of stock footage or sound effects, creating a minor but noticeable inconsistency. Another recurring issue involves a family quilt that seems to move magically between different beds throughout the series. The quilt, featuring a pattern similar to the double wedding ring design, appears on Olsen's bed, Charles's parents' bed, and even on other characters' beds. This suggests that the show reused props and costumes to manage time and budget constraints. Period dramas like Little House on the Prairie often struggle with historical accuracy, and the show is no exception. Characters are sometimes seen wearing clothes or hairstyles that don't quite fit the 1870s and 1880s setting. For instance, Caroline is shown wearing a bra, an item not invented until 1912, and some women sport curly perms, more characteristic of the 1970s. Melissa Gilbert herself noted that her hair often looked too modern for her character. In a heartfelt anniversary gesture, Melissa Gilbert recorded a personalized video message addressing some of the show's historical blunders. She humorously acknowledged the confusion and offered a playful twist. Albert's character, who had met his end in the series, returns as a zombie doctor in the final episode, The Last Farewell. This imaginative twist reflects the show's spirit of creativity. An additional subtle discrepancy lies in the show's timeline. The Last Farewell is set in 1901, over a decade past the final season's events. This poses a logical problem, as many characters from earlier seasons would be quite elderly, possibly in their 60s or 70s. The real Charles Ingalls, the figure on whom the show is based, passed away in 1902, just a year after the depicted timeline. Likewise, the children seen in the final seasons, such as Carrie, Jenny, Nancy, James, and Cassandra, would be adults by this time. However, the show portrays them as remaining perpetually youthful. This issue becomes more apparent when Laura mentions it's spring 1887 in the first episode of Season 9, which is 14 years before The Last Farewell. Despite the passing years, the characters seem to defy the natural aging process, preserving a sense of youthful stasis. The financial journey of Little House cast members Karen Grassel, celebrated for her role as Caroline Ingalls, the devoted mother of 3 on Little House on the Prairie, found her greatest triumph in this beloved series. Despite her notable performances in other productions like Harry's War and Wyatt Earp, she never quite captured the same level of success as she did with her iconic role on Little House. Though her career has been marked by moments of achievement, her net worth remains around $500,000, a testament to the often unpredictable nature of fame and fortune. Melissa Gilbert, who brought Laura Ingalls to life on the show, shares a similar financial narrative. Though her role on Little House brought her significant acclaim, her financial journey has been a mix of stability and struggle. With a net worth also estimated at $500,000, Gilbert's experience underscores the reality that fame does not always translate into enduring financial success. Her fluctuating fortunes reveal the complexities of managing wealth in the public eye and the personal strength required to navigate these challenges. In a surprising twist in 2016, Melissa Gilbert ventured into the political arena, running as a Democratic candidate for Michigan's 8th congressional district. Her campaign, however, was put on hold due to health issues, highlighting her commitment to community involvement and advocacy beyond her acting career. Gilbert's political move reflects her dedication to making a difference, even as she faced her own personal battles. Lindsay and Sydney Greenbush, who played Carrie Ingalls, have seen their fortunes rise, with a combined net worth estimated between $1 million and $5 million. Although they may not have reached the same level of fame as some of their co-stars, their financial success speaks to their own achievements and the different paths their lives have taken. The disparity in wealth is particularly stark when compared to Michael Landon, the show's star and its driving force behind the scenes. By January 2023, Landon's net worth was pegged at about $1 million, a figure that seems modest in light of his legacy. Upon his passing in 1991, he left each of his 9 children a significant inheritance, ranging from $8 million to $10 million. His son, Michael Landon Jr., has followed his father's legacy in the world of film and television, carrying forward the family's legacy. Landon's generosity extended to his children with a firm request to avoid disputes over their inheritance, reflecting his enduring care and foresight. While the show remains a cherished piece of television history, these behind-the-scenes glimpses remind us that even the most idyllic portrayals on screen can have a reality far removed from the stories told.